Hi everybody. On this pro analysis lesson, we're going to be taking a look at the return to serve. We're going to be looking at Andy Murray and compare him to Maria Sharapova. And a couple things I want you to look at before we get to the footage of the players is a few takeaways. The number one thing I always try to get to my players to understand is that the footwork on the return to serve is different and it's unique. So one thing I like to talk about is pre-moving. In other sports, like say track, where you have to literally be at a standstill and you can't take off until the gun goes off, we don't have that problem in tennis. We can be kind of creeping and cheating and moving before the ball is struck. So I also like to explain that a little deeper by imagining a Y. So I call that the Y theory. If this was the court and I'm releasing myself a few feet behind the baseline, the Y would be imaginary Y painted right here in front of me. And the stem of the Y is where I would be creeping up as my opponent is in his motion. Right at the base where the Y goes this way or that way, that's where I'm going to time my split step. When he makes contact on the serve, I'll do the split step there. And then the Y just ensures that I'm going on an angle. It's not really a T, right? So pre-movement is super important. The split step and then the Y, so that you make sure you're going forward into the court, is a big couple of things that I want you to know. The other thing we're going to look at, and a lot of rec players get this wrong, is they can be ready in the upper body but not the lower body. So I want to tell you what I mean by that. A lot of rec players get ready like this, the return to serve, and they're ready, their hands are up, their eyes are ready, they're bent in their, they're kind of in an athletic stance. But if you look closely at their feet, they're completely flat-footed. And one of the ways I can see this, even if it's many courts away, is that this will be the results. The hands will go first and then the feet come later, and that's what makes a bad return. So check this out, and also I want you to notice the different swing sizes that we're going to be showing, with Maria having a big kind of backswing and Andy more of a compact swing. So let's go ahead and take a look at these two pros in high-def footage, and we're going to kind of see some of the commonalities and things you'll see for yourself, what they're doing on the return of serve. Okay everybody, so here we are with Andy Murray on the left and Maria Sharapova on the right. And what we're looking at is what I call the pre-movement, or as I explained earlier, the Y theory, where the players actually move forward. And here we have two players that move forward but at different degrees. So I'm just going to start the thing. I got this video synced up to be right when they hit. You can see right now there's very little movement. Andy's kind of just starting to move. Marie, she may look flat-footed if you look at Marie right here, but the reality is she's ready in the upper body. Andy, ready here. His feet have been moving a little bit more, but they're both ready. It doesn't look a second ago like they were all that ready, but they're pre-moving. As they move forward into the return, you can see that Andy does a lot more traveling. He's moving forward more. You can see a big step forward. You see Maria is starting to do a little hop step, and you'll see that she lands with her weight going forward. So you can see the different degrees of commitment. But if I stop right here, you can see that in both players, their angle of their body is generally in. They're not leaning back at all. They're not waiting for that kind of feel. As I go forward even further, you'll see Maria's already entered her unit turn. Notice the left hand staying on the racket, turns her shoulders. Andy's still trying to time the ball. You'll see that as soon as Andy lands here, right there on the left, Andy is now landing from his little jump step. His racket will start to commit now that he sees that it's going to be in the backhand side for him. Look at the size of the swing on Maria's forehand, with the racket being considerably above her head. And let's just track the same thing on Andy's backhand. Now obviously a two-handed backhand can be more compact than a forehand, but you can see Andy takes it below the head and Maria is quite a bit higher. But in both cases, the players are still moving forward towards the ball. They're going to go meet it. So as we go into the point of contact, you can see that right about here both players are making contact. We'll call that right there for Andy and right there for Maria. You can see that they're definitely moving forward. So the takeaway I want to have you see here is that a proper return to serve will have a lot of what I call pre-movement. You can be ready with your hands and even bent at the waist, but if your feet are not committed to moving forward, you're going to have a much different result. You can see at the end here, both players have moved up considerably from their starting point. Maria having a huge wraparound swing, that's kind of her style, and Andy, mostly because it's a two-hander, more of a compact swing. But there's just an example of those two great players and the pre-movement they make to the return of serve.